Well, at times such as these, with so much turmoil in the world, we think of the power of prayer and the importance of prayer in our lives as a tool to bring light to the darkness. So with that in mind, we asked people what their favorite prayer is and why. Let's see how they responded to Encounter's Question of the Month.
That one's hard. It changes all the time. One day I'd say the rosary, the next day I would say something different. Recently, I just came across the Novena to the Sacred Heart of Jesus that St. Pio used to pray every day. It's been very powerful. I would say it's my new favorite. But ultimately, I guess I would have to say the rosary has been my favorite prayer.
Okay, I do know this one. Okay. My favorite, okay, well maybe I have a couple actually. Okay, as of recently, I just went through a really weird, hard time in my life for the past 6 months. And the Anima Christi prayer. The church, I just moved here from North Carolina, and the church I went to, extremely musically inclined, and we would sing it all together. We would chant it after communion. And so just sitting in the pews there, singing this beautiful prayer with my entire church, and everyone knows how we sing it was just so beautiful. And just every single line of that prayer, I think, really capitalizes on what it means to be a Christian. And there's my favorite line of anything ever is within your wounds hide me. And especially coming through a very vulnerable time in my life, thinking, mentally seeing that is so beautiful. And knowing that we can find ourselves deep within Jesus' heart as soon as we let Jesus enter our hearts. And it's just one of my favorite things.
I like the Hail Holy Queen. Just because I'm a writer and it's pretty dramatic. And I feel like it has a lot of empathy and emotional connection for me.
Yes, for the penitential seasons like Advent and Lent, I like to do the official prayers of the church, which is the Divine Office. And given, there's also many prayers throughout the day, but because I'm doing this or that, I can't do them all. So I like to do Lauds, which is the prayer that you do when you wake up early in the morning, like at 6 a.m. and before going to bed, which is Come Clean. Just the last thing you do is just pray something to God, and you can find it in apps or whatever.
My favorite prayer is the Rosary, and it's my favorite prayer because it used to be my least favorite prayer. And it's the prayer that first taught me the experience of what it's like to go from, oh gosh, that again, to really loving something and thinking into it. It was one Lent when I said, I'm going to pray the Rosary. I'm going to learn to pray the Rosary. And it went from a duty to a delight over the span of those 40 days. And I was just like, okay, this is weird. And so that remains, the Rosary itself is a gift. But for me personally, the transformation of the Rosary into something that was clearly a gift was an even greater gift.
And of course, we'd like to hear from you. If you want to respond or make a comment about our question of the month, you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/EncounterCTV.